Today, I'm going to tell you a story in clear, easy English. We will be working at level C2, Advanced. Turn on the subtitles to see the translation in your own language. The map of returning. Most people assume the hardest goodbyes come at the end of life, but Mara Ellington and Daniel Ruiz learned as teenagers that the most painful farewell can happen before life truly begins. They were 17 when the universe, in all its blunt indifference, ripped them apart. Their small Midwestern town tolerated many things, but not a pregnant teenage girl from a church family. Mara's parents, desperate to protect a fragile reputation, arranged what they called a solution. Daniel's parents, who had fought hard for stability, feared the cost of resisting that plan. Their baby girl, born on a cold March morning, was carried away before either had memorized her face. A week later, Mara was sent 2 states away to stay with relatives who asked no questions. Daniel watched her leave from the corner of his father's mechanic shop, aching and powerless. Their last words were a broken promise whispered through tears. "I will find you again someday." Neither believed that promise was possible. Their lives split with clinical precision. Mara, once wild-haired and impulsive, was shaped into someone quieter, softened by expectation. She married a dependable accountant named Peter. At 23, raised 2 stepchildren with care and worked as a librarian. The marriage was polite but thin, like lukewarm tea that never warms the hands. When Peter left her for a younger colleague, Mara felt a strange mix of relief and grief. Daniel, meanwhile, married his college sweetheart, Elena, a woman so kind he often felt unworthy. They built a modest, gentle life together, a carpentry business, a bright house, a garden Elena adored. When cancer took her after 28 years, Daniel found the silence unbearable. He spoke to her photo for months, imagining she still hovered nearby. Both he and Mara aged into that vague middle place where the future shrinks and regrets grow sharp and loud. Yet neither ever forgot the baby they were forced to give up, nor each other. Their memories lingered like a melody half known but instantly recognized when heard again. Her name, they later learned, was Lily Abbott. She grew into a woman who felt a quiet pull toward answers just out of reach, a question she could never quite name. Her adoptive parents were loving and honest, encouraging her to search when she felt ready. But Lily waited until 32, until the restlessness in her chest became impossible to ignore. A DNA test was meant to reveal ancestry, nothing more. Instead, it produced 2 cousin matches that set her on a long path of research, records, and emotional effort. When she finally discovered both biological parents, still alive and living only hours apart, Lily cried without fully knowing why. She contacted them separately, unaware of their deep, tangled past. Mara was the first to respond. Her message was gentle and shaking, filled with apologies Lily had not asked for. They agreed to meet at a quiet cafe halfway between their 2 cities. Daniel replied later and agreed to meet Lily as well on a different day, or so he believed. But Lily, trusting intuition more than logic, invited them both to the same place and time. She thought they might want each other's support for such a huge moment. She had no idea their history was deeper, more fragile, and more beautiful than she imagined. When Mara walked into the cafe, she saw Daniel at once. He stood near the window, older, broader, softened by years of grief and work. His eyes, though, were exactly the same. Daniel turned at the sound of the door. Recognition struck him like a wave. For a heartbeat, he looked 17 again, hopeful, terrified, and wildly in love. "Mara," he said. His voice was not a question, but a memory stirring back to life. Mara stepped closer, her smile trembling. "Daniel," she whispered, their names suddenly sacred in the quiet room. Lily rose from her table, shoulders tight with nervous energy. "You already know each other?" Her voice shook as she tried to read their expressions. Daniel exhaled, emotion thick in his throat. "We knew each other long before you were born." Mara nodded, turning toward Lily with a soft, aching smile that held decades of truth. "We were in love when we were your age," Mara said gently, "and we were forced apart right after you came into this world." Lily hesitated only a moment before stepping forward. She wrapped her arms around both of them, holding together the broken timeline of all their lives. "Then I'm glad," she whispered, "that we get to find each other now." What followed did not come quickly. Reunions rarely do. The three of them began meeting every Sunday, sometimes in parks, sometimes in diners, sometimes walking by the river. Lily asked about their childhoods, about who they were before adulthood pressed down on them, about the decision that shaped all their lives. Mara told her about the hospital room. She described the sound of Lily's first cry. Daniel spoke of the helpless ache he carried, knowing he could do nothing to stop what was happening. Lily listened without resentment. On some Sundays, after Lily went home, Mara and Daniel stayed behind. They talked about books she loved, furniture he built, and the loneliness both had carried for years. One late autumn evening, as golden leaves spiraled around them, Daniel paused mid-walk. Mara stopped too, sensing something shifting in the quiet between them. "I thought the hardest part of losing you," Daniel said softly, "was the goodbye. But now, I think it might be realizing we could have had a whole life together." Mara felt tears rise, warm and helpless. "We were children, Daniel. We never stood a chance." Her voice shook, but there was no anger, only history. "Maybe not then," he said, "but we aren't children now." The truth of it settled over her like the first warm day after a long, unforgiving winter. Their love did not roar back like wildfire. It returned slowly, like embers coaxed into flame. Careful, honest, steady. Lily watched their renewal with quiet gratitude. She had searched for identity and instead brought two people back to each other. It was a gift she never expected to give and one they never expected to receive. On Christmas Eve, 6 months after their first meeting, Lily invited them to her home, a modest plant-filled space glowing with soft winter light. She handed each of them a small box. Inside was a framed photograph of the three of them laughing at a picnic weeks earlier, unposed, joyful, real. "I wanted us to have our first family photo," Lily said. "Our first in this life, at least." Her smile trembled with hope and healing. Mara's hand found Daniel's. He didn't let go. For the first time in decades, the future felt open, not stolen, not broken, but waiting. In the spring, Daniel asked Mara to consider moving into the house he had been renovating. Warm yellow light, a garden Elena once dreamed of. Mara hesitated only long enough to honor the life she never had the chance to build. Then, with a steady breath, she said yes. Their wedding a year later was a quiet ceremony at a lakeside cabin. Only those who understood the depth of their journey gathered. Lily attended with her adoptive parents, who embraced Mara and Daniel with warmth that surprised all three of them. Friends watched as decades of loss gave way to something gentle and earned. two people choosing each other again, freely this time. As the sun dipped below the lake, Lily took a photo of her biological parents, finally partners in the life that they had once been denied. She titled the picture, "The Map of Returning," because some loves don't vanish, they wait patient as the tide for their way back home.
If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Until next time, take care and learn something new every day.